of us.
There's only two of us. Yeah.
Well, my baby, she done left me alone. Said I was a no good and head out on the road. You ain't gonna see me cry.
I kind of wish everybody on TikTok could hear the intro. Oh, maybe they can because it's being broadcast through. I think it's being broadcast through. Here comes the drop. For those on TikTok who don't know, this is Rob Linus, who's like an up-and-coming like Southern rock or whatever. He's incredible. He's an incredible guy. Super, super happy to be here today. Wow. Well, here we are. We're leading up to what? I don't know. We're leading up to all sorts of stuff. We got an election. We got the end of the season in HVAC. Kind of. Is it? Maybe. I don't know. Is there a season? Maybe. It's getting a little cooler out. Cool. I have an awesome guest here today. She is, you know what? I'm just going to bring her on. We're not, no intro, no nothing. Just.
I love it.
Becca Stamey. Yeah. You know, I like how Joe Rogan does it where there's like, they're just sitting in the studio together. And then like, it's like you get that little intro and then all you get is just like, hey, what's up? Tell us, who you are, And so I met Becca probably like 6 months-ish ago, like through like Misfits of HVAC and Jennifer Manzo and like all these other people who are in like the HVAC world. And like then I saw her content and her videos that she was doing because she's the director for refrigerant technologies and there's products they use. And so I saw it and I'm like, these videos are just awesome. Like, this is really cool. And the way that she does it. And then I find out she's got this ridiculous background in marketing but go ahead, Becca, tell everybody who the heck you are.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. So yeah, my name is Becca Stamey. I am the marketing director for Refrigeration Technologies, also known as Viper. We make Viper products, so we're a chemical manufacturer. And yeah,
It's not lip gloss.
No, it is not. It's this is my empty bottle that I make videos with. There's no nylon in here.
There's a video that Becca put together where she used the nylon as lip gloss, which I mean, I guess you were showing, hey, the products are like, whatever, natural, if you will, natural, all natural.
So nylon specifically has this like cult following, and it got like the same kind of tagline, almost like Frank's Red Hot. Like, I put that shit on everything. And so it just came as like this joke of like, oh, I put it on like Jeff JDM HVAC did a video where he like put it in like the gauges of his ears because it goes on like, it's a sealant, it's a refrigerant sealant, and it's like it goes on gaskets and O-rings and things like that. So he actually put it in, like pretended to put it in the gauges of his ears, and then it just kind of like took off from there. And so you know, I was like, oh, it looks like lip gloss. Like, I'll just make a video where I pretend to put it on. And the amount of people that thought I actually put Nylog on my face is crazy.
I actually thought you did put it on your face. I thought it was real. I
No,
actually, it wasn't
no,
real. It wasn't real.
no, I use just like plain regular lip gloss. I just stuck the lip gloss, like the
Dang it.
applicator,
You
like
know,
into
you could have left
product.
you could have left, you really could have left the mystery there. And like, you could have just said, yeah, these products are amazing. But anyway,
True. I gotta
so,
cover the brand though. I gotta make sure that people aren't gonna actually put Nylog on their face.
I mean, would that be so bad? Like if people were putting chemicals on their face and finding out the hard way? I mean, anyway, either way,
Natural
the video
selection.
didn't say this is not Nylog. It just said the video was like, I'm putting Nylog on my face.
Mhm.
Anyway, so
It's yeah.
okay, so go backwards here because you've been in
Okay.
marketing. You've been in marketing for what, 15 years now?
Yeah, forever it feels like.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Yeah. So I went to school, went to college for broadcast. I studied media and broadcasting. I didn't study business or marketing. And I kind of fell into marketing through I was working in broadcast promotions for a video on demand provider and streaming service.
Oh, what video streaming provider was that you worked for?
It's a little brand called Hustler.
Hustler.
Yes, yes. So adult entertainment. A lot of people that are in the industry think I'm talking about Hustler lawnmowers. And I'm like, no, not the lawnmower.
Is there such thing as Hustler lawnmowers?
I didn't think so, but I've had like multiple people ask me that before. And I'm just like, no, not lawnmower. um,
Hustler.
oh, they have an H on.
No, I made that up. I have no idea. I'm saying that, you worked for Hustler. How does that happen? How do you go working for a porn company? Like, how does that work? Like,
So
did you see an ad like on Indeed and you were just like, you know what? I mean, I'm going to do some marketing here.
content is content. So because I studied broadcasting, like when I was in college, I was an intern with the Avalanche and the Nuggets here in Denver. And
Mm,
so like I used to do a lot of like promotional stuff for broadcasting. So I ended up working for a company right outside of Boulder called Colorado Satellite Broadcasting. And at the time, they were just like a video on demand provider. Streaming, like, this was in 2011. So streaming wasn't exactly like what it is now. But so I'm working for this company. We do a lot of different kind of content. It back then it was like everything. B-list movies, adult entertainment, like just this whole mess of stuff.
and was
After
that company that wasn't LFP.
No.
Okay,
So
okay.
LFP, so it's like a year and a half in, and LFP wants to buy the company, wants to acquire the company
Okay,
because they
so
want
for those that don't know, LFP is Larry Flint Productions. Larry Flint owns Hustler. It was the founding.
oh
Yeah,
owned.
yeah, owned it.
RIP.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah. I
Yeah.
did say. Did I say was? I said was. Anyway, good.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, so they wanted to buy the company. They the technology, they wanted the like the satellites, all of that stuff. So the company basically says you can stay and work with solely adult content, or we can give you severance. And I was like, well, why not? So back then, I used to do kind of like everything. So I did closed captioning, which
Closed
yes,
captioning
yes,
on videos on adult
yes,
videos.
yeah,
What?
yeah. So there is closed captioning standards. So I used to run the closed captioning. I did metadata tagging, so basically anything you're searching for, like on one of the Hustler websites, like a clip, I was going through and tagging those clips with like descriptions.
Oh,
uh,
that's
so
interesting.
yep. And then I took over the promotional graphics department. And so I was leading that department, and we basically would make like box covers and like promo art and things like that. So I spent a lot of time photoshopping the actresses.
Wow.
and and then eventually they were launching streaming in like 2013, I think it was. And I was talking to someone.
Hustler didn't launch a digital platform until 2013.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So yeah, they were like they were making all their money like, and then when the industry changed, it was like, okay, we need to do something a little different. So talking to the person who runs the new media department, and I was basically like, how are you guys going to get people to actually like download this or like stream this stuff? Like, how are you marketing this? And they were like, oh, we don't know. And at the time, like I loved Twitter, like personally. I used Twitter all the time. I spent who knows how many fucking hours like on that site. And I
Really?
was basically, yeah, and I was basically like, do you guys know that you should use Twitter to promote these things? Like
Like use
all the girl,
Twitter to promote a porn site?
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
because it's the
I guess
only
that makes sense. Yeah.
it was the only social platform other than Reddit, like that wasn't flagging that stuff constantly. If you put anything explicit on Facebook or Instagram back
Yeah,
then,
it gets flagged, but not at Twitter. But and this was 2013, so it wasn't
yeah,
even. So I didn't even know that they didn't have. I didn't even know they didn't have restrictions at that point in time. Um,
yeah,
that's interesting. That's
yep.
really
And
interesting.
so I was basically like, you guys should use Twitter for this. And they were like, do you want to do that? And so I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Like I can run a Twitter account. And then it just like took off. Like I was basically doing influencer marketing before influencer marketing existed, because I'm reaching out to all these actresses and stars and saying, "Hey, we're going to run this promo of you. Like, will you reshare this? Will you retweet this?" And yeah, that's kind of how I got
So
into
you were
social
you
media marketing.
so you were helping. Were you helping them with their? You were helping them with their personal Twitter pages too.
Fairly, I was giving them basically like promotion through the Hustler accounts. So we're starting like collaboration. We're basically doing collaboration. And so I'm reaching out to these girls and saying like, hey, I want to feature this video of yours like next week. Will you please reshare this? I sent out t-shirts and stuff like that as thank yous. And
Hmm.
yeah, so that's kind of where it all started.
And okay, so you did that. You worked for Hustler. How long did you work for Hustler for?
5.5 years.
Yeah. Can I? This is an interesting question because I'd be interested. You probably get numb to everything after a while, right? Like it
Yeah.
doesn't. It's work to you, right? But it's just so interesting to me. Like you're editing marketing material for porns, so it's
Yep.
like I in my head I'm like, yeah, it's at some point in time it probably has to be like you just what is it? Just tell me what that's like.
Yeah. So, I mean, when I first started, I was just like deer in the headlights all the time. Like, I mean, you're walking around this office and there's screens that are showing porn, and you're like, wait, this is my job. And eventually, yeah, you just get like numb to it, to where like, oh, that's another butt, that's another set of boobs.
Yeah.
Like, and then like, I mean, I'm sitting in titling meetings where they're coming up with titles for
Oh,
compilations,
you,
and
and you helped to name Backside to the Future.
sure, yes,
I got that one.
that's
No,
a good
yeah.
one.
Well, okay. What was the coolest name that you guys ever came up with? It like I'd be really interested to hear.
Oh man. Um I'm trying to think. Like, there was one that was like, uh, I think it was like Brews, Butts, and Boobs, and it was like they were in a brewery.
Oh,
And
brews, butts, and
yes,
boobs.
yeah, like brews as in like
Oh,
beer.
I'm like brews. Like, what are they hit?
But
So that was the.
no, but it's like a kind of like a play on words
Hey,
almost.
Becca, do you want to date yourself for a second here?
Sure.
HVAC Nate, who was on the podcast a few weeks ago, says I was a sophomore in high school.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, um, you know,
I graduated high school in, oh my God, this is gonna age me, 2005.
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how old you are. That's insane. No, yeah, I mean, I don't even believe here, ready? This is off topic here. Not off topic, but about age. I don't, it's a fabrication. What is it?
It means nothing.
Times you went around the sun, right? So at some point in time, right? Like I've got buddies that are like ready to die. Like they're like, well, I've done everything in the world that I set out to accomplish. You know what I mean? I got a job and a kid and a wife and all that kind of stuff. And that's it. And I'm like, dude. And I don't know. I'm a very young spirit. So I try to keep anyway, that's my thought on it. I think a lot of people die before they die, right? They get old before they get old. They go, oh, I just want to stay at home on my couch. I don't do anything, and I'm just so old. I'm just so old. Like hear people say this all the fucking time. I'm so old. I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah,
yourself that's cool. I got a gig. I'll see you in a little bit. Like
yeah. No, I like, okay, so I'm 37 and I still like I'm a raver. So like I go to festivals still.
you say
I
raver, do you mean like legit raves, like New York City style? Like you're talking like,
yeah.
oh
Yeah.
wow, yeah. I
Yeah.
haven't,
So
I
like
haven't been, I haven't been to one of those in a long, long time. It's been a minute. It's been a
um
minute.
I'm lucky to live in Denver where like the electronic music scene is huge. And so I get to go to that stuff. But like I went to Europe last year and went to Tomorrowland, which is like one of the biggest music festivals in the world. And
Wow.
um yeah, age doesn't stop me from living life.
I mean, you're not old, but so,
No.
but like so, and what's funny too? I hang out with a couple, like they live in like the community that we live in. I hang out with a couple. I'm not even kidding you. I think the husband turned like 80. He's like 79 years old, and they party with us. Like we
That's
hang
awesome.
out. Like I'm not even kidding you, and I love them. I love the, of course they like. Obviously they're not going to hang out, but the other night I was leaving the pub and they're walking in and it's like 12:30 at midnight. I'm like, you guys are serious. So
That's awesome.
yeah. So and so you worked at Hustler for
Mhm.
5.5 years and then
Uh,
you and
I left to go work at a startup. I had a friend who was working at a startup and was like, "Hey, you should come like work at this startup." And it was a disaster.
oh
It doesn't
no.
even exist. It doesn't even exist anymore.
Okay.
But while I was working there, a recruiter reached out to me and that was recruiting for Viga, so a press fitting
Yeah.
manufacturer.
Is it Vega? Because I always thought it was Viega.
So it is Viga because
It's not Viega. That's so weird.
it's
Vieg.
German.
Oh, Viga.
Yeah, and when they say it, it's like an F, like Figa.
Figa. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And they make press fittings for those that are not in the industry. Like, yeah, they make these special type of plumbing and HVAC fittings. They're super high end and yeah.
Yeah,
And
they're awesome. Great product.
you did marketing over there.
Yeah, so when the
Mhm.
recruiter like reached out to me, I thought it was a fake company. Because they had no digital presence whatsoever. Their website looked like it had been made in a Word document. Like
Yeah.
I was basically like, "What is this?" And found out like, "Oh, they're hiring to build a digital presence," and because that's what I do.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
And so you were there for a little while and
6
then
years.
6 years. Okay.
Yes.
And I hear that was a little bit of a messy breakup.
Um, it wasn't like too messy. I just kind of got to the point where like they're super corporate now. When I first started, they were a lot smaller and I had all this freedom. I was able to like really connect with the industry, with the people. Like I do what I do because of the contractors. Like I love the connections that I made.
Mm-hmm.
And then I lost my husband in October of 2022, and I took some couple of months off after that.
Mm.
Um, and when I went back to work, things changed. And sure, like
Well,
I
yeah,
changed,
of course. How do
but
you not change?
they
Yeah.
weren't really, I wasn't feeling like the love and support like that I felt like I truly needed.
Yeah.
Plus, like I was saying, like they were going so corporate. So they wanted to like really control like a lot of what was going on. And I get that. Like I get when you get to that level.
Yeah.
And I also like, I hit the point where I was like, I worked here for over 6 years. Like I am bored. I'm kind of bored. Like I've done everything.
Mm.
I launched their social media. It was thriving. Launched their blog. I did PR. Like I did all this stuff, and I was kind of like, okay, do I want to do this for another year?
I would imagine in that period of time, there's probably a whole lot of reflection too. So,
Ex-
and
exactly.
I think you wrote in your thing, it was pretty sudden.
Yeah. So yeah, my husband Zach. So he died in a motorcycle accident.
Oh man.
So if you're a rider, please wear your gear. He was geared, but mistakes happen. Um, and yeah,
Yeah.
it was like
That's so crazy. I heard this story and it was like, it's people that are in the industry. So there's this guy, he's like one of the godfathers of the industry, and his brother actually, had gotten into a major motorcycle, and it was in Colorado also. It was in Colorado, and like, I mean, the open roads there are beautiful. I mean, they're yeah. So I'm super sorry. You went back. So like you went back to work and you were like, I can't, this isn't the place for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically like my whole life, like my whole like outlook on life shifted. So I usually tell people like before Zach died, I was so dedicated to my work. Like I would eat, sleep, and breathe social media. I'd never put my phone down.
Mm,
I was just like constantly like stressed about work and things that didn't matter and stuff that was trivial. And when you go through a loss like that, it just makes you realize like
mm,
the little stuff does not matter.
yeah.
Like stuff I was getting upset about, people that I was mad, like when people would like make me mad about like dumb emails, I was just kind of like, okay, this is silly. Like I have so much bigger things to think about. And I had a conversation with Zach. It was like a week before he died, actually, where we were talking about like me being stressed over work and him saying like, I really hope that you can find something that brings you the happiness and the joy that you had when you first started there. He's like, because you just seem miserable now. And I told him at the time, like, I kind of was, and that I was a little scared to try to find something new because I was so set there. And sure, I was making good money and I was progressing in my career, and it felt like this place that I could be at for basically ever. And then when you're getting told by people after you come back that you have an attitude problem or that you just don't seem connected to your work anymore, it just kind of makes you go, I don't know if I want to be here anymore.
Did you take some time like off, like
I,
after that? Like, after you left, did you take some time in between to some time off or no?
so I took 2.5 months off
Mm,
after he passed. And then I went back, and mostly like I wanted to go back because I was like I needed something to like put my
yeah.
like brain towards. Like I was tired of like laying on the couch, and I spent a ton of time in the widowers subreddit, and I had this like realization one day where I'm like scrolling through posts and I read this lady's post that's like, oh, it's been 7 months and I still don't get out of bed. And like,
Yeah.
I'm still so depressed. And I was like, I don't want to be like that. Like, I want to enjoy my life. Like, he was so full of life and lived everything to the fullest. He was a firefighter in the Air Force, and he was an adrenaline junkie. And I was like, I
Yeah.
have to keep living. Like, he wouldn't want me to just like lay on the couch and like basically
Right.
like waste my life.
Yeah. He would. Yeah. It sounds like he would be like, dude, it's cool. Like, just go live. Go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I went back to work, everyone was like super like accommodating and sweet, and I had gotten some amazing like messages. Then after a few months, I'm kind of like not dedicated to my job anymore because I just went through this traumatic event, and I just have like different things to think about,
Yeah.
and it
What would
probably
you
was
say before?
reflected.
But yeah, so obviously there's a lot of reflection there. So you mentioned in your like bio, like getting through like the darkest sort of times. And I know, and I want to hear your thoughts on like that, like, getting over that hump. Interestingly enough, my dad would say, like, just go to work. You got shit going on, you got bad stuff happening, like, just put your head down, just go to work. Just go to work. And like somehow, some way, like I feel like it's a good drug to have. It's productive. At the other side of it, there's success, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
what would you say to anybody? Hey, what's your magic sort of thought?
Um, there's no magic.
Mhm.
And the biggest thing is like you have to choose to let it get better and to choose to know that like it could get better.
Mm,
If I had continued to be in the pattern I was in, I'm not showering, I'm not eating, I'm just like wasting away. And sure, like when you're in survival mode, that has to happen. But you get to like I got to the point where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I I'm tired of being sad. I'm tired of crying. Like
mm,
I just want to like be happy and do what I'm good at. And so I was like, the best thing for me to do is go back to work.
mm,
And the support that I got from like the HVAC community on Instagram and plumbing community on Instagram was it was like overwhelming.
mm.
And I
Yeah.
was like, these are my people. Like these people don't even know me. They know me through this brand, and I'm getting messages and people sent me flowers and cards and
It's a very incestuous business. And so it is in a lot of, and everybody talks. I think at its whole, there's a lot of shit talking, but at the whole, I think that people really, they, there is a sort of community, and Jen Manzo has done a great job.
I love her.
Jen and Ryan have done a really great job of kind of keeping that. And Gil from HVC Uncensored. I mean, dude,
Uh-huh.
Gil and I have become like, he helped me with this. Like, I mean, he was like,
That's awesome.
yeah, so like, uh, that's cool. And then what so did you fell into from Figa,
Yep.
you fell into refrigeration technologies. You went into there
Yeah.
and you've
Yeah.
been there. Yeah.
So I'm coming up on a year with refrigeration tech. And it all came from a conversation that I was having with Ben Poole, HVAC Tactical. Just like talking to him one day, being like, I think I want a new opportunity. Like I'm telling him, like I'm kind of bored. I feel like I've done everything. I'm not really sure like how to keep growing at this company. Like, do you know of anything that's out there? And he was like, do you have any companies that are on your radar or anything? And I was like, I keep seeing Ashley, and I knew about Ashley from Instagram. And I'm like, what's the deal with this Viper company? I was like, because their social kind of sucks. Not it sucks, but like I was basically like, they have so much potential. I remember like writing to him and being like, they have so much potential. What's their deal? And it turned out, and this is why like divine timing, I truly like sometimes believe in, they had just parted with their marketing manager. And in the span of having this conversation with Ben, he reaches out to Ashley. An hour later, I have an interview set up with Mike Pastorello, who is the president. And 2 weeks later, I had the job. So it just like is crazy how it happened.
Mm. Tell me about the videos in the content that you guys put out there. Like, what was the thought process? Like, did you go in and say, hey, I mean, I can crush this. Like, give me the Insta, give me the TikTok. Let me go make some videos.
So basically, I just kind of showed them like, this is what I've been doing at Viga for the last 6 years. I started this social media at 0, and now they have, at the time, I think they had like 100 and something thousand followers across Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, all of that. That's my best friend in the chat. um, and I showed them, I'm like, this is all the content I've been producing. I've gained them out like millions of views, like impressions over these 6 years, and I understand this audience and what they want to see.
So they gave you free reign.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to, if I could, because I want to share the screen too, because I think it's pretty cool to look at. What's your favorite reel? You had one where you dove into here. Like there's just some ones that are just ridiculous.
Oh, where I said I was going to dive into a pool of Nylog.
I'm going to share the screen, and so everybody can see. Share screen. Becca Stamey. Okay. Can everybody check this out?
Oh my God.
And she falls backwards, and nothing. There's nothing here that's like, I mean, where's the pool? I don't know. The pool, dive into a pool of Nile. Here, you guys are getting.
Oh, this is, I let my mom splash me with that bucket of water.
So ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but I guess it's well, because the products are good. So, here, this was the one. Yeah. I'm like, she's like, do you want to see me? Oh, here, hold on.
Do you guys want to watch me dive into a pool of Nylog?
And I was thinking to myself,
do you guys want to watch me dive
really, but where's this
pool of Nylog?
Oh my gosh. All right. Yeah.
I mean, social media is like, people take it so seriously, and it is not like, I always talk about, I'm like, it's not that deep.
Hold on. We have a guest. I have a guy. I worked with him back in the day. He's the most amazing guy ever. I love this guy. He loves music. Tony Doney says, best of luck to you both. I'm officially out of the HVAC game. Tony's like been in the business like at least 10, 12 years. Tony, what are you going to do, dude? We don't know. Becca, what is the craziest shit that you've ever gone through, like as far as like I don't know, maybe stories with different things that you've done, like when you've put content together, or maybe like I'm looking for something like, okay, so obviously the format, it's like, so I was in this house is the tagline, right? So it's like people would start with like, so I was in this house. You are not in houses. Your products are in houses, but you're not in houses. So what is some crazy shit that you've experienced in your professional life?
Well, okay, so one of my first jobs out of college, I did like cold calling. It's like the only sales job I've ever had. I did cold calling for this company that used to like put together business advisory boards. So I would call like business owners and I'd be like, hi, like, do you want to join these boards and blah, blah, blah. And most of the time, like people are like screaming at me, how'd you get my phone number?
Yeah,
Like,
take me off your
what
list.
what
Yeah.
they're like, why the hell would I ever want business advice from someone else? Like, my business is just fine, blah blah. Like, one time I called this guy, and there's like screaming going on in the background, like like screaming bloody murder. And then I hear sirens. And this guy is still having a conversation with me, like, while all of this is going on in the background. And I was like, hey, like, if this isn't a good time, we can talk and like I can call you back. And he's like, oh no, it's fine. My wife just cut her thumb off. And I'm like,
Whoa.
what? Like,
Whoa.
like
Well, that's
what?
so weird because Carly Deckert just said the thumb wrestling with Nylog was top tier.
Oh, that's funny.
Wow. Dude, that's so crazy.
It
That's
was
and then what?
insane.
The guy's like, I gotta go. I gotta go. The ambulance is
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, in a way, he just kind of was like, "Oh, she'll be okay." Like, thanks for calling.
Maybe he cut her. Maybe cut her thumb off. We don't know.
Maybe. We
We don't
don't
know.
know.
You never talked to the guy. Did you ever call him back? You ever follow back up with him? No, I didn't think so.
No.
It's like a weird follow up. Dude, my buddy was in a house when somebody backed out of the driveway, and while he's in a sales call trying to sell an HVAC system, and the guy, the wife or the daughter or somebody ran over their dog, killed their dog while he was in the house.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And they're like,
That's
hey, we're gonna
terrible.
have to reschedule. Someone just killed the dog. Yeah,
Awful.
it is awful. Yeah.
I feel like all the cold calling definitely prepared me for internet trolls though, because like if you get hung up on or like told to go F yourself like over and over like every day, it kind of prepares you for internet trolls.
Yeah, tell me about that. What do you do with that? Do you like feed into it?
It depends. Some like there's different kinds of trolls. You can tell when someone is kind of being like facetious, kind of funny, like trying to make a joke about it. And usually like I'll joke back with them. Or I'll kind of poke fun back at them. Like I like to use like a lot of the TikTok lingo and like sure Jan. Uh like whatever you say.
Sure,
Get
Jan.
but then you get the trolls that you can tell like they want the last word and they're never going to let up, and you just kind of have to let those ones go. So I kind of pick and choose battles.
What's
It also
what's the worst one? Tell me the worst troll you've ever had in your marketing world. You have a fun job, by the way.
I do. I love my job. I feel
Pretty
very
cool.
grateful for like the fact that I get paid
Do
to
you guys like
do
walk
this
in and be
stuff.
like, you guys walk in and be like, all right, listen, I've got the coolest fucking idea ever. All right, look, here's what we're gonna do. Like, grab the camera. All right, you stand there. Like, I can't even imagine. It's just, and whatever pops out, it really doesn't matter because the HVAC community is super, super cool. So
Yeah.
you can make a bunch of really crappy shit and really doesn't matter because some will do well, some won't do well.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like, I want to put out a mix of content for people. So, yes, I put out content like on my own, Becca's Hot for HVAC page. But when I'm thinking about the Viper content, like, I put it into buckets. Is this a piece of entertainment? Is this education? Is this specific to the brand? Or is this like trending or like industry? And I try to do a mix of that. And I know that some things are going to bomb, and we call those experiments.
You do them
Because
anyway,
if
but you never know.
because yes, like if you don't like if you think of every post that doesn't do well as a failure, you will be miserable.
You know, Mr. Fat Cheeto, when he put out his first video or whatever, because he was on the podcast, he said he was
Mhm.
just trying to prove to his kids that he could do a video and have it funny or whatever. That first video he posted, he broke his arm. He broke
He
his arm.
really
He
Oh
broke
my
a
God, I
bone. I think it
didn't
was his
know
arm.
that.
He fell off of like a car. They were filming or a truck, and he fell off and he broke it. And it was the first video. Anyway, it was a long time ago. And all of a sudden, like boom, he goes viral. And he was like, "Oh my gosh, like how the heck did I go? viral on this stuff. But I
Hmm.
want to talk to you about this because a lot of I wanted to make a video about this. I wanted to make a video like a short video just talking to people. Like, here's the deal. Ready? Like,
Hmm.
in the world of like getting likes and getting up on the lists and getting, I mean, it's different. You're selling a product, so you have a tangible, like, hey, this is what, the result of the marketing is that we sell more product, right? But
Hmm.
like, the thing is that, Hook told me this. I was on his podcast, Tim Hook, and it
Yeah.
was like, one thing he was talking to me about, he was like, yeah, sure, I've got all the likes and all the shares and everything like that. He's like, but the reality is, he's like, what what we really should be wanting, and this resonated with me, is a community, and building a community, and building that. And that's the crazy thing, is like, I've been like, I think I've been, it's like, oh well, you want to put out your content because you want to get engagement, because you want to get, superficial likes and all this kind of stuff. Dude, I want to, I want to change people. That's the way I feel. I want to
Yeah.
change people. I want to change. I do. And selfishly, I think part of the reason why I like to have these conversations too is because, especially like you just talked about, a very, painful topic. I want people to hear that and then like have it resonate with them. It's the same thing when I wrote
Yeah.
music. When I wrote music, I just wanted to change people. I wanted to change their outlook. It's the same reason why I think people make like true movie makers. When you think about the Nolans of the world and all these like crazy directors that are like, the studios hate them because they're like, they spend too much money, and it's like, what are we doing here? Right. But you think about it, like, there's a documentary on Godfather and how that, it was like, well, it was a drama, but anyway, it was a whole series on how that story got made.
Hmm.
And it's like if Francis Ford Coppola was not obsessive about every single little detail, every little shot, right? It was so unpopular. I think that sometimes, like, I think if you told somebody, hey, I'm going to do a podcast, we're going to spend 2 to 3 hours talking long form on every single episode, I'm going to do like 2 or 3 of these a week, you'd be like, no. And
No.
yet but you look at these podcasts, I mean, Joe, I mean, like him or not like him, like, the guy has 12,
Oh
Joe
yeah.
Rogan has more listeners like every day that will listen to all 3 hours just because, right? I mean, they want to hear what's, just interesting perspectives and talk to
Yeah.
people.
And
Um,
that's my whole take on social media, is that it is a community. Like, I'm so focused on, like, the reason that my social skills and like my success on social media like has been so successful is because I connect with every single person. Like, if they're tagging the brand, I'm replying to them and thanking them for tagging us, or asking them what they're working on. When I first got into the industry, I didn't know anything about plumbing. And I learned what I was learning from the social media audience by asking them questions. What kind of system is this? Why did you do it that way? And I'm doing the same with HVAC and refrigeration now.
mm, um, so I ask this on every episode, and I say this, and for you it'll be a little different, but like, what's one customer experience or experience in the workplace that shapes you, that till this day like lives with you? Like, I can remember a homeowner that I've sat with that, like, I could tell you her whole story. She's 85 years old. I can tell you her whole story right now. What is that experience for you?
Um, I mean, I think most recently was was just like the love that I was getting from people. So when because was working with different influencers, like different plumbing influencers, I built the brand ambassador program for Viga, and so I was talking to these guys like daily, weekly, all the time, and I'm spending time with them at an event, and we're all getting to know each other on a personal level. And so when I kind of disappeared from social media when my husband passed away, those people, like, they reached out to me directly, and I will never forget, like, how just their kind words and the fact that they were like, "We miss you. We wanna make sure you're okay. Is there anything we can do for you?" I'll just like never forget that feeling of like feeling so absolutely genuinely loved.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I guess when you have people who take the time, sometimes we get so caught up sometimes. I guess it's, and especially, all these tools that we have and social media and smartphones and everything else, there was supposed to be this utopia, right? We're supposed to live in this utopia that like, hey, we're gonna have so much time. Like that was the reason for all these tools for everything, right? Was we're gonna have so much time to spend with our families because there's gonna be so many things that you can do with your extra time. And I find that we're busier now than ever. Like we're so freaking busy. And so it's nice that they took the time because I think sometimes it can get lost. I mean, I do that sometimes where I'm just like, God, I flaked on that, and
Hmm.
you never really know what to. And then you feel bad. You're like, man, if I wasn't so self-absorbed or if I wasn't so, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
sometimes I look at the amount of hours, like I'm like, oh, how many hours on my smartphone or whatever? I'm like, oh my gosh, like, and then like
I hate
I just
that report.
yeah, I left actually for a day yesterday. I was gone. I left Sunday night and I came back on Monday. It was a one night thing, but it was out in the middle of nowhere. My buddy actually, I'm gonna promote it actually. There's a place called Yellow Rose Canyon, and Yellow Rose Canyon is it's the second largest natural crater formed amphitheater in like the world, and
Where is this?
it's in Podunk, Texas. And here's the thing: it's in Mount Pleasant, Texas, Mount Enterprise, Texas. Sorry, it's near Nacogdoches. And so what's really cool about it is back in the day, they had a lot of famous people that played there, like a lot, like Willie Nelson played there and Miranda Lambert and all these people played there. And it kind of went into disrepair. And the famous guy from Ink Master, Oliver Peck, the guy with the toothpick and everything. So
Yeah.
so we've become sort of friendly, and he, a buddy of mine is a tattoo artist. He's like a famous tattoo artist. And so anyway, they went in on this thing. Long story short, I went out there. It's a literally little middle of nowhere. You look up, you see the stars, and you're like, holy moly! Like it's a whole nother animal because you live by the city. You don't get the chance to really see it as
That's
much.
so cool. What
But
kind of music? Do they play like all kind of music
yeah,
there?
well, yeah,
Or
but they're getting it going. So they're doing a motorcycle. It's called Born Free, a big event. They're gonna have 5,000 people there in a couple of weeks. It's crazy. They have
so
cabins. They have a
cool.
restaurant in there. They have campgrounds. They have like 100 RV sites that you can hook up to. Like it's legit. It's really cool. And it's like, I mean, there's like the next farm over is like just nothing but cows, and it's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of acres of just nothing. There's like one of the huge slide there. I mean, it's awesome. It's really cool. So anyway, I was helping. Literally, I went there. I just needed to get my mind off some things and just mowed the lawn. They like literally it was mowing like lawn and like communal areas like where people were gonna go. Like it was like I was sweating in the Texas sun. It was like 1,000,000 degrees.
That's
Um,
so cool though.
it actually really was cool. Latimer George said, I just helped lead the charge on bringing in the Viper line to all 30 Hearst supply shops in SoCal. Becca, what's a
Yay.
best practice you've seen to get the word out that we carry refrigeration technologies now? Okay, sure.
Okay,
I'll allow
so
it. I'll allow it. It's business building, but I will allow it.
it is business. If you guys have a marketing person, they can reach out to me and we can come up with some promos. If not, shoot me a message on Instagram or LinkedIn, and we'll start to put some ideas together.
Well, that's pretty cool. So actually, Latimer and everybody who's listening, not only did you that's kind of neat. You're saying we'll do it together. I'll offer you help. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, that's my goal. Like I I want I want to get our products out to everyone and if you're gonna reach out to me, like let's do this together.
um okay. So funniest experience you've had. I would imagine probably at Hustler.
Yes.
Okay. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I mean, how many people can say that they sit in a staff meeting or sat in a staff meeting and came up with different ways to promote grannies and anything else that people have fetishes for.
And you have to come up with a game plan on how to, hey, so where would we advertise this exactly?
Yes,
Wow.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yep.
How do you do that? You have to find the grandpas that are on there, right? Or actually, probably maybe not even the
Every
oops.
everyone, if I learned anything about working in the adult industry, it is that everyone has their own fetishes and that I don't judge.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, as long as it's legal, don't do anything illegal.
Yeah. Wow. That's so funny. Brent Buckley was on here and he told a story about how, and many people have listened to the episode, but I'll tell you, he went to a house. They didn't own the house, but they were filming a porno in the house. He didn't know that. He walks in, he's like, what the heck's going on here? So the like owner of the porn company or whatever, like rolls up in like a Lamborghini and goes, hey, we need, he's like, you're not the landlord. I can't just I need authorization. He's like, listen, I need you to replace the whole thing. He hands him a stack of cash and he goes, please just get it done. And they did it. And so the landlord ends up getting a brand new air conditioning system paid for by the tenant because the tenant didn't want them, I guess, to know
To
that
know
they were filming in this rental property. Yeah.
that's hilarious.
Positive note, you can write it off as a business expense. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
insane.
Wins for everyone.
That's so crazy. Did you have family members that like were kind of like, hey Becca, maybe or were they kind of? Are you like from a
Um, I come from a pretty relaxed family. I will say when I first told them what was the content I was dealing with, I mean, I remember my mom saying like, "Well, we just tell people you work in broadcast."
yeah, that's it. Hey, it's like if you're in the mob, you just tell people you're in waste management.
Yep, yep.
I'm
So
in waste management.
I used to get two pretty like different reactions. I get people who are just like mind blown, who want to ask me all these questions, and then I get the people who definitely judge me like right on the spot. And you
I
know,
can see that. I can see, depending on who you're talking to, I could see that for sure.
yeah, but
Mhm.
I will say like I got to, I talk to a lot of the stars like I was saying, when I'm doing like partnerships with them, and I met some of them and they are the nicest people in the world.
Well, yeah,
So humble.
they're inducing they're inducing pleasure all day, either that or
Yes.
taking it or whatever it is.
Yep.
What's next on the horizon for you and for Viper?
Um, well, since I'm coming up on a year, now I have like a very good grasp of the brand, where we're going with it. And so goal is to just keep getting it out there. I will say that we are making some very big investments in the company, in terms of expansion for manufacturing. Um, and then, just keeping the content coming because that's what people love.
Dan Baker says, I came into this late. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. If you came into this at the end, you probably know what you were
Dan,
talking
Dan,
about.
I don't know what to tell you, Dan. I don't even know how that's relevant. So I would say, Dan, you missed a really good episode. Becca's got a great story. So Dan has questions. All right, so Dan, just ask the questions.
What's your questions?
What's your question, Dan? All right, we'll do a live. We have enough people in the chats here. We can probably do a quick live Q&A before we head out.
Yeah. If anyone didn't know what when we talked about thumb wrestling earlier, we did some thumb wrestling at the AHR Expo, but we did it with Nylog all over our hands. And for those who don't know, Nylog, because it's refrigeration oil, is very sticky and slippery.
I
So
win.
it made, yeah.
I win. I win. I win. I'm a good thumb wrestler, but then you get that one guy who's got like the thumb that's like the, you know, like a real long thumb. I can't mess around with that. Then you got to do
Yeah.
like the goose, like whoop, use your
Yeah.
pointer finger. Yeah, and you cheat.
Yeah. It was a good time. It was physically impossible to like actually hold each other's thumbs down, but we did our best.
Do you play hockey?
I did when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah, that's my hockey stick back
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
Wow.
so I played roller hockey. I was a terrible ice skater.
Roller hockey.
Yes. So I
Oh,
played roller
what was
hockey
that
as a
roller hockey movie like in the 90s? Wasn't there a roller hockey movie?
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah, there was and this kid moves to Cincinnati and he's like in a new school and he's like,
Okay.
but he's a rollerblader. And it's like,
Yes.
oh, I'm going through all this stuff, but I'm a rollerblader and I'm gonna like, I'm gonna show you, oh, there's a rollerblading competition coming up this weekend. Yeah, well, I'll be there. And then everybody's like, you have no shot at, against Richie. And then like, yeah, the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Dan says roller babies. I don't think that's it, Dan. Doug Wyatt, amazing guy, by the way. I've got a chance to know Doug over the last few weeks. Incredible dude. Synergy Learning Systems, by the way, unreal what this guy's doing. In fact, Becca, you should connect with him. Synergy Learning Systems, amazing. I mean, the guy is like, he's a thunderstorm of thought. He says, great episode. Dan missed a great one. Parts, supplies, socials, and grannies and hustler.
I'm just here to entertain.
Yeah. What's have you done any controversial videos? Denver Raves Rock 2, said Doug Wyatt again. Yeah. He lives just south. Actually, Synergy Learning Systems is in Denver, ironically.
Oh, awesome.
It's in Denver, or it's south of Denver. He lives South Denver.
Cool.
Yeah. Hey, have you done any videos for like that have not made it, where you did the video and then you like showed your directors or whatever it was, or you showed your CEO and they were like, no, no, you haven't?
I don't think so. I mean, I shoot content that like I don't always end up using. I mean, I had a whole like few videos a couple of months ago that I shot just here in my house. And I had a little bit of a wardrobe malfunction and I didn't realize it until I was actually editing. And I was basically, I cannot use this. Like, basically, like, you can see my entire body. Like,
you were
like
wearing cellophane?
No, but like my pants were too tight and camel toe happens. So
oh my goodness. Oh man.
And
it's funny too, because I hate to say it, but if you actually did use it, who knows what would.
It's true. I mean, I posted a blooper of like clip of it, but I like covered myself up. But I mean, for the most part, I post what I think is best, and
So before we wrap up here, I'd be interested to hear anything that you got on your mind. Anything at all. Open book. So, and by the way, the rule of this podcast, rule number 2 is if you're offended, you're the problem. So you can, not you, like people that are listening, like if they're offended.
Oh yeah. No, I have super thick skin. I mean, I think working in social media, you have to, because you have to learn not to take things personally.
Cool. So if somebody wanted to buy the products or reach out to you, or in regards to product, or they wouldn't reach out to you directly, you don't sell the product, you would be okay with that?
We don't sell direct, but if people are looking for Viper and they can't find it, hit me up. I'm always happy to help. But
where's your biggest markets? Like, where do you sell the most amount of Viper product?
I mean, we're all over. Like, we're worldwide. We sell a lot in Australia. Yeah, the Aussies love it. Yeah, we're kind of like all over.
Cool.
We
So
even sell in like Brazil and Japan.
Yeah. So tell everybody how they can reach you and
Um,
plug your company.
yeah, so follow at Refrigeration Technologies on Instagram. I think we're Viper HVAC on TikTok and Facebook. And you can follow me, Becca's Hot for HVAC on Instagram,
Say that
TikTok.
again. It was muffled. It's Becca's Hot for HVAC.
Yep. Yep. That is
I see
my
what you did
Instagram.
there. I see what you did there. How long
I
did
mean,
it take you to come up with that?
not long. My old Instagram when I worked for Viga was Becca's Not a Plumber because it was plumbing. So I just kind of played off of that.
I like that. Everett's not a podcaster. The Not Sales Tales podcast.
Not sales.
Yeah. Well, this was a lot of fun. I really appreciate you coming on. Your story's cool. Anybody that came in on the live later or whatever, guys, check it out. Listen to Becca's story. Yeah, some of it's pretty heartfelt. Thank you so much for coming on. And I got some guests coming up this week. I'm actually doing 2 episodes. I have another one on Thursday. The director from CEO Warrior reached out to me and he wants to come on. So his name's Kevin Hill. And then Tommy Mello is in a couple of weeks, and Tommy Mello's in a couple of weeks, and there's some other people in there. Jordan Wiggins, we got to find a date for Jordan. But yes, so awesome. Really appreciate you guys. Latimer says amazing show. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Latimer. I appreciate you guys so much. All right, rock and roll. See you guys.
Yeah. Thanks.